Okay, so welcome to the Team FITz call. Tonight we're going to be talking about drive, what motivates us. And before I start this talk, this coach call, I want to just give shout out because there are quite a few of you, and Paige is one of them that I just need to recognize and take the time because, timing is everything. And you never know when your timing is. And I feel like there are a lot of coaches on this team that have realized that, okay, I have to do something with this because I know that I have the potential and I'm just sitting on it. And Paige is one of them. Paige, unmute yourself and just do you mind sharing with everyone the text messages that you and I were going back and forth today? Because this is something that like people need to hear.
They do need to hear it. It's something that I needed to hear a long time ago.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'll tell you guys the first text message where I sent you the message and I was like, okay, I feel like I need to do something other than sitting here waiting for my business to grow. It's not going to grow if I don't put in the work and make it grow. So I have just put my head down and hustled my ass off, like hard, and it's paying off. It's paying off. Like
Tell them how it's
paying off.
Tell them how it's paying off.
Well, it's paying off because I am now hitting goals that I never thought that I would hit, especially right now. And, financially, especially, if I continue at the pace that I'm going, which I told Lauren, I was like, I'm not slowing down. Like, if you're in my way, you better move and get out the way.
Move, bitch, get out the way.
And, my husband and I were talking the other day, and if that continues, then I will be making more than I made on my teacher salary, which is really amazing.
And remind everyone how long you've been a coach.
A year and a half.
All right. So
but
those of you that
the deal is it is not a get rich quick thing. It doesn't just come to you. You have to treat it like a business, and you have to work.
Exactly. And that's what I needed everyone to hear, because it was something in you that light switch turned on, that you were like, okay, I'm going to stop treating this like a hobby and start treating it like a job. And you're on cue to make more money than you did as a teacher by $8,000. Yes. Yeah. So that's huge. And one thing I have to give a shout out to Paul, because I can speak from being in a relationship where I didn't have support from my significant other. Now I have support from my significant other. And Paul is one of the people that reminded you, look, babe, you're on cue to make this much. And so shout out to all of the supportive spouses, because, that really, and Chris is doing a happy dance. Like, I had to show you all that. but truly, so, okay. So thank you, Paige, for sharing that. I appreciate it. And Paige is just a good example of a personally sponsored coach of mine that is working her business. I'm constantly hearing from, and that's the thing. Like, I want to reiterate to you guys, if I'm your personally sponsored coach, I'm here to help you and mentor you ultimately so that you can build your business, so that you're literally just, Paige has been doing this for a year and a half now. And so now she's literally messaging me just like, hey, I'm doing this. And every now and then I'm mentoring her, but for the most part, she's killing it on her own. And it's hard work, it's discipline, and it's this drive. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. So I know that I talked about the book that I read it's been about a month ago. It's called Drive by Daniel Pink. And this, I know I'm not going to give you guys assignments because half of y'all are reading 2 books with me right now, the Think and Grow Rich and the Girl Wash Your Face. So I'm not going to say that you need to read this right now, but it's definitely a book that I would like you guys to read at some point. And when you first start reading it, it is a book that you're like, well, I don't own a traditional, brick and mortar business, and I'm not in corporate, America and whatnot. But this whole concept applies to us because we are business owners, and we might not be the traditional business owner with employees and whatnot, but you can apply these same theories to not just your customers, but also your own coaches. Because if you are going to be successful in this, you're going to be building a team. And I'm going to give Paige one more shout out, because she messaged me today and she goes, my new goal is Success Club 40 for the month. Like, what? But you guys, this is a goal that I guarantee if I would have asked her even 6 months ago if she thought that she could hit that, she'd be like, I don't know. But you guys, facing these scary big goals is what pushes you to that next level, right? So, okay, so this book, Drive, is pretty interesting because it talks about the traditional, they call it carrot and stick mode. They call it motivation 2.0. And this, it was really interesting because when I first read this, I had a few personal applications to how I have seen the carrot and stick thing not work. Now, let me explain what the carrot and stick thing is. So it's the whole analogy of you put a carrot on a stick in front of a horse and that motivates the horse to go, right? And so this goes to the traditional mode. What motivates people? The carrot and stick mode, right? You give them some reason to get motivated and they'll work, right? Now, yes, that helps in short term, but they have basically studies have shown that in long term, the whole carrot and stick mode actually ends up hurting people more in the long run because it goes against our natural, instinctive, intrinsic desire to want to have all of these different things that ultimately drive us, right? So I applied it to what I've seen over my 2.5 years of coaching and also observing Melissa in her history, because, Melissa, my personally sponsored coach, has been doing this for 10 years. But it's interesting because I have seen with my own coaches and with her coaches, the whole give you a carrot. So whether that be motivation to win a trip or maybe a Success Club gift or whatever, and that motivates people initially, but I'm not interested in just keeping you motivated right now at the moment. I'm interested in how do we figure out how to tune into that motivation that is for the long term, because ultimately I want to see every single one of you be successful. And if you are constantly needing other people to motivate you, then this book is going to be for you, because this is going to help tune you in to how to really figure out what motivates you, right? So it talks about 3 different things, this motivation 3.0, the next thing. And so I want you guys to write down some major points, okay? The first point is autonomy. And this, I think, is so true. And I actually, Leah can nod her head or shake her head and agree with me or not, but, I think Leah is a great example because I give Leah a lot of autonomy instead of micromanage her. I love my dad, but I see my dad micromanage people, and I know, like, he used to micromanage my mom. That's all I'm going to say. And I have learned by watching other people and by example that ultimately I think that autonomy, giving Leah her autonomy so that she can have her own intrinsic motivation to excel at her job. And you guys know she's an amazing. I'm just giving kudos to everyone tonight. Tonight's recognition night, right? but truly, we all have this intrinsic desire to not. Ultimately, I think it probably has to do with if I give you a goal, that's my goal for you. But if I ask you, what is your goal? That's the autonomy part of it, right? So autonomy is the first step of the motivation 3.0, right? The second one is mastery. And mastery is something that the example in the book that they gave was Tiger Woods is the first person to say that he will never master the sport of golf. He is always fine tuning that. And so how that applies to us as coach is that, yes, I am constantly doing the daily vital behaviors, but if I'm only doing it once a week or like a hobby, like a lot of us have been guilty of been doing, we're not mastering our job as coach, whether it be our job as coach building our business or our job as coach in coaching our challengers, because we have those two roles, right? So starting to change your mindset of, okay, I want some autonomy. So I'm going to set my own goals. And my goals, because you guys, I'm going to use Paige as an example, because you guys know that Paige was a teacher and she gave up her job so that she could do this full time. That goal might not coincide with your goal, but you have to be autonomous in figuring out what intrinsically motivates you to want to strive to be your very best, right? If I give you a goal to just randomly hit Success Club 5, if that means nothing to you and you have no intrinsic reason to want to hit that, it's my goal for you, and it's nothing. And mastering your skills as a coach is something that truly is something that we do on a daily basis, right? And that goes back to the 4 daily vital behaviors. The third part of Motivation 3.0 is purpose. And you guys, we talk about this all of the time. I really think that there's a lot of you that haven't truly gotten in tune with your why. Because again, like Paige said, this is not get rich quick overnight. And if this is the only reason that you got into Beachbody coaching was to make money, that purpose, it's not going to be sustainable. Yes, we all know that you can make significant amount of money. All of us follow Melissa McAllister online, and we know that her lifestyle is one that most people don't even think that they could ever have. And I'm here to tell you that her purpose, that Melissa's a great example. Her drive, she has all of these major core points at her heart. And her main purpose is always to help make people better. And you've heard me say this story before. I remember the first time she was explaining Success Club and, the challenge package, and Success Club points just represent, helping others. I'm like, whatever, that's your salesy point. But no, that's truly her purpose. Is this is a tool so that I can help others, and getting in tune with that. I know that there are some of you that have gone through some really, really traumatic things in life, and your purpose is to turn that bad crap into something good so that you can help empower other people that have gone through that same crap. There are some of you that have struggled with weight your entire life and have finally gotten a hold of your weight and your health, and you want to help other people. But so you have to get in tune with that big purpose. So stop thinking about, okay, well, what gift is Lauren going to surprise us with if we possibly hit this or whatever? Or is Lauren going to, take me on a Cabo trip? That can't be your motivation. You have to find your purpose. You have to find the mastery, and you have to have autonomy. Now, I want to, and I took these 9 strategies for awakening your motivation straight from the book, and I want to talk about these. But before I talk about these, I want to remind you guys that on Monday, every single one of you that are one of my personally sponsored coaches has the ability to join in on this Melissa McAllister, Lindsay Matway coach training program that starts on Monday. I will be the first to tell you that I'm going to go into it like I just became a coach this weekend. And I'm going to go in through this whole training process with the mindset of, okay, I'm a brand new coach and I'm starting all over again. I want to learn from grassroots, from the get-go, because you guys, Melissa McAllister and Lindsay Matway, they've been top 10. I mean, they're 2 of the most successful women in this business. And every single one of us have a lot to learn from them. There are a lot of Team FITz coaches, whether you're my personally sponsored coach or you're in my downline, that you have been sitting on all of this potential, and your light switch, like Paige's light switch, it hasn't gone off yet. And you're like, I know that I want this, and I know that I can do this. I invite you to join those of us that are just restarting on Monday, and we're going to do this whole new coach training with Melissa and Lindsay Matway all together. So get your pen down and write these 9 strategies for awakening your motivation, because there's a lot of you that have literally said, I just need to find my motivation. I need to figure out what's going to get me that fire lit, right? So the first one is asking the big question, right? What is my purpose? But that's question number one. Question number two is then keep asking the smaller questions, right? Because the smaller questions, it's just like the slide edge. Those little tiny steps that you take every single day add up exponentially over time. So what I mean by that is every single day, are you going to bed a little bit better than you were yesterday? And I think that is a great habit to actually start. If you don't have your morning and nighttime habits set, I highly recommend it. And I'm saying this and I'm thinking I need to get my habits back in check because all this travel is definitely throwing them off. But one nighttime habit is definitely to reclaim your mindfulness and reclaim your thoughts, because the day, so much has happened throughout the day, and the thoughts that go through your head right before you go to sleep are so important, especially positive affirming thoughts that do nothing but confirm all of these positive things that we've been talking about, mindset and whatnot. So a habit that I want you to start, if you haven't already done, is go to bed and think, have I become a little bit better today? And how have I done that? Did I drink a little bit more water today? Did I build someone up that I've been needing to, but whatnot? Whatever it is, these small little baby steps are ultimately adding up to your big purpose, right? So the third one is he calls it take a Sagmeister. Now, okay, this is this whole concept of this guy who literally takes 1 year off and goes and explores, and basically he saves up his money so that for 1 year out of every 10 years he can go do this. And this guy recommends doing that. I'm not recommending you take a year off, but I love the theory behind this, because when you take time away from just the craziness of life, you're able to connect with your creativity. And this guy says that during this year that he goes away for forever, he has all of these creative things that basically pays for his life for the next 9 years, right? And so obviously that's not realistic for most of us, but I definitely think that there's a lot of you that could benefit for even just taking 1 day off a week, or maybe even a half a day off a week, because I know some of you are like crazy super busy, but you guys, taking the time to just step back and just take care of you will help get those creative juices going. Because the reality is, Paige's success in her business looks different than my success in my business, and my success looks different than Melissa's, and we all have different, our success looks different because we're all different entities and we offer different things, and that's why we're able to be successful. So I don't want anyone to look the same, because I want you to figure out how you can be the very best coach to reach the people that you need to reach, right? Okay, so the fourth one is get unstuck by going oblique. Now, this was kind of a concept that I didn't quite understand at first, but ultimately it's you're getting outside of your normal mindset to look at your challenges in a different way, from the oblique, if you will. And I think Beachbody coaching we're guilty of this. We follow all these Beachbody coaches. We're looking at everyone else and how everyone else is doing, and then we're looking at us. If we just take the time to step back and use those creative juices and think, okay, how can we do this in a little bit different way that's with our own flavor and our own touch? Oftentimes, it's like Ashley Molstead. She's a great example. You guys, if you knew her Success Club numbers every month, you would literally vomit. And her success all started out with initial posts that was different at the time. Now everyone tries to recreate it, but she was one of the first people to make a post showing the reality. Like, this is what I look like when I sit and my legs are bent, and it shows her abdomen and it shows a roll and whatnot, and then it shows her standing up. And that post resonated with so many people, and she like literally went viral overnight, and her success in Beachbody just went crazy. And that was because she thought outside of the box okay, I'm not gonna, just show me doing my workout and show, the whatever. Like, I'm gonna do something different. And that was all it was, a creative thought that was outside of the norm that took her to the next level, right? So I like this one the best. It's a just say no. It's a just say no list, okay? And when I read that, I'm like, I don't get it, but we all have to-do lists, right? But we need a just say no list of things that we cannot allow in our life. And you guys know that I've always talked about getting negative people out of your life, getting negative thoughts out of your life. You really have to be purposeful and intentional at knowing what needs to be on that no list. And you guys, I know that some of you are like, well, that's like my mom. I understand that some of you have people that should be some of your closest, most loving, supportive people and are not. And I'm just going to ask you, if they are not serving you and building you up and helping you reach your positive purpose, then I challenge you to put them on that no list. And that doesn't mean you don't ever talk to them or whatnot, but you guys, you have to be so careful with what you let into your world, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your everything, because literally all it takes is one person that can literally just steal your mojo. So think about what needs to be on that just say no list and literally make that list. I would love to see pictures of your just say no list. And then, okay, let's see. The next one is 5 more steps closer to meeting. I can't read my writing, y'all. I'm just going to skip that one. My bad. Then I like this one. Take a page from Weber. So Weber is this dude who has this whole idea of having a card. And having a card, basically, the whole point of keeping this card in your back pocket is seeing both sides of situations, looking at it from one angle versus the next. I'm not gonna be able to elaborate on this too much because I don't remember exactly, but it was a good point. So I will, this is what I'll do. I'll take a screenshot of these 9 points and put them when Robert tomorrow, when you upload the thing, I'm going to put it in the comments below so that you guys can see all of these points and you can have them written down. And then the last one is create your own motivation poster. And this is kind of like your dream board or your goal post, your goal poster, but to have something visual that you can actually see every day, whatever you call it, your motivation poster or whatnot, being able to see those helps you visualize and helps that belief system and helps your mindset and ultimately helps you achieve these unachievable things these things that you think are unachievable that actually are. And the fact that Paige is on her way to making $8,000 more than she would as a teacher after only doing this business for a year and a half, that's huge. And that's something that if it wasn't on her dream board, it should have been. I know it was for sure in her mind, for sure. But there's some of you that you don't have a job that you can't stand and you have a good lifestyle and either your spouse or you make enough money so you're not wanting for money. So you have to figure out. I've talked with someone, and I'll keep anonymity private, but one of my coaches talked about the fact that what, I realized that I've got a really good life. My significant other takes care of us, but I just realized that if I work a little bit more, maybe he won't have to work as much, and that would be kind of good. So everyone has to figure out what their dream board looks like, and I will take pictures of all of these. But I really think that there's this wave in not just Team FITz, but all of your teams and Team Made that I really think I feel this energy, and I'm really excited about it. And so all of you that are my personally sponsored coaches that have already committed to me doing this group with Melissa and Lizzie Matway, I'm super excited about it. Obviously, you guys are going to pass it on to your team. And those of you that are diamond coaches, you can offer your personally sponsored coaches as well. But are there any comments or any questions that you guys want to address? This is the awkward moment where everyone's like, I don't know.
I have no idea what he's talking about. I said, where's my trophy?
Yeah. I love it.
So I was just joking. Only joking. I will piggyback on what we were talking about earlier. The setting those big goals and working towards those goals and reaching those goals and seeing them all unfold is awesome. And of course, the financial part is awesome. But going back to what you said and what Melissa said, we know where our hearts are and we know why we do what we do, and that truly is what should drive every single one of us. So. I wanted to say that earlier, but
and I think that and I'm glad you said that, Paige. I think that that's a battle that we all have at different stages of our coaching. And I know the first time that I heard this, it was kind of like relief that, okay, I'm not alone. Because we all have those moments where we question ourselves and doubt ourselves, right? And the questioning ourselves of, am I just really a salesperson, right? And the reality is that if you were successful in this business, it means that you were changing people's freaking lives, and you can't forget that. And just like you said, when I heard Melissa say the whole Success Club, challenge point or challenge package, whatever, like, she truly, that's her purpose, and that's my purpose, and that's every single one of your purposes, and that you cannot forget that. So yeah, and Leah, she helped me. She reminded me that the welcome email that all of you will be able to, I have to film the video and then fine tune a few of the purpose statements, and then it's going to be out. This email is basically one email all in one for the new coaches that join your team. Kudos to Leah, because Leah worked really hard on this to make sure that it's visually, it's easy to understand, and it gets all of the main points without overwhelming new coaches right away. And all of you will be able to use this format easily. And I recommend everyone making their own video, but I've got to make my video so that you can figure out if you want to use my video or make your own. Because I know not everyone is super comfortable doing videos yet. But yeah, Lori Hoy's, she's like, no, I got this. I'm comfortable. Yep. All right. So anything else? All right, sweet. Well, I have to pat myself on the back because I've been trying to get these calls to 30 minutes or less. So what? I'm right at 28 minutes, baby. So thank you guys so much for spending tonight with me, and we will repost this tomorrow when Robert's done with the editing, and I'll take screenshots of those 9 strategies to reawaken your motivation. So I will see y'all later, okay? Good night.